What's going on, guys? Today I'm going to take my Spyderco Shaman and I'm going to throw some Fireside scales on it. They are a Tarot Tough skinny version of the Shaman. I also have some Lynch deep carry pocket clips here, and we're going to open those up. We're going to check them out, and then I'm basically going to I'm going to tell you how it feels before I change it, and then I'm going to tell you how it feels after, and if I think the change was worth it. Before we do, I'm going to try and start doing this. Anytime I have swag from a friend or somebody who has a really cool channel, I definitely want to advertise them. Sometimes it'll be a retailer or whatever, but today we're going to kick this off with Dan over there at Nocturne Knives. Dude's a whiz at sharpening knives, and he's just wicked intelligent. So go check him out at Nocturne Knives. In here, in this, sealed to let you know that your DoorDasher didn't eat any of your pocket clips, is what I'm assuming is my pocket clip. So we have one deep carry. Oh, that was right. I didn't get two different versions, I don't think. I think I got two different colors because I wasn't sure what I was going to want on there. So this is what you're getting when you order pocket clips from Lynch. You get the black, which also comes with black hardware, and then you get the silver pocket clip that has silver hardware. Pretty cool, and then they have them in their own little thing. It's nice to get more hardware with your stuff. And while we're here and we're kind of talking about people that I like to talk about, Lynch is fantastic. I've had several conversations with them. In fact, I was just talking to them about making a milled titanium clip, which they're in the process of doing for some of these Spyderco knives. They even have their own card, which is personalized, and it says thanks for your support, which is something that you could tell probably was already on there, but they actually put my name and they said patient because this one took a little bit longer than normal. So I think that's pretty cool. Here's a sticker from them. Here's another sticker. Lynch, I think, is fantastic. All the pocket clip manufacturers are actually pretty good. I've had the most experience with Lynch and MXG. So when you order scales from Fireside, this is how they come. So before they're mounted, let's take a look at these. So these are the skinny scales, right? So it's gonna effectively look closer to this when it's done rather than that. It's gonna eliminate this hump right here. Now, I've been debating today whether or not I'm gonna like it, which is stupid because you're just gonna get them in and try it anyways, but I kind of have my fingers that wrap around this point when I'm not choked up. Like it's a really nice grip point. When I'm choked up, this finger rests really nicely there. So I'm not sure if I'm actually gonna like them or not. So we're just gonna talk about the ergonomics of the Shaman, because this isn't a review or first impression, we're really talking about these scales. So the Shaman in the choked up position is where it shines. You can use the hammer grip or just kind of the laid back choked up position. Now you can kind of choke up on the blade to get some detail work in, but it's a little bit too large for that. But every position that you find yourself in, this thing is really comfortable. And I'm also concerned because these may not be as contoured-ish, although they seem like they match. It's more of a filleting. It's more of a filleting than it is a contouring because it is flat up top. All in all, the G10 scales are actually phenomenal, and I only get new scales because I want to personalize my knife, right? And try something a little bit different. By the way, this is the third Shaman that I've owned. It's the first Shaman that I really realized that we can top flip it. And for some reason that made me like this 10 times more. I don't know why. It just becomes a little bit more fidgety. All right, so what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna change out these scales, and then I'm gonna talk about how the Fireside Tarot Tough scales feel in hand. And by the way, these are definitely very grippy. I can feel it even through the glove on how grippy these are. And that's cool because the micarta does get slick. These are supposed to be the answer to that slick micarta, in my opinion. But I'm gonna take this apart. I will fast forward it, but if you guys have any questions on how I do this, long story short is all I'm gonna do is take off one side at a time, take this side off, swap it, take the pocket clip off, swap it, put a new pocket clip back on, bam. I don't take it all apart because there's no reason to. If it's dirty, I'll clean it. I thought about polishing the washers, but the action on this guy is amazing as it is, so I'm not sure that I even want to mess with anything like that. So let's get to it. So on first impressions, I will say this is rather easy to install, but when I first installed it, this was favoring that left side just a little bit. All I did was kind of push it over and it looks fine. I may have to do some tweaking in the future because I have a feeling it's going to go right back to the way it was. But there is a little back and forth. Let's tighten that up just a smidgen because this action is even better. Silly. All right, let's see here. Yeah, this action is still just wicked silly. Look at this. Just absolutely dumb. I'm probably removing this nub later on. All right, but in hand, so they actually feel a little bit bulkier. Not to the point of, I wouldn't say they're bulkier to the point of, you know, uncomfort. They're actually more comfortable, but these are a little bit more rounded, right? So like I said, the edges are a little bit softer. And the softer edges are actually gonna make it, they're gonna make it feel a little bit more comfortable in hand, but not as rigid. And this rigidity, even though it's not like crazy rigid, it's not like just like a PM2 where it's flat scales, but this rigidity actually kind of gives you the feeling of confidence. It's pretty cool. So here they are up close. And to be perfectly honest, I really don't notice too much of the skinny portion being gone. Like on the PM2 or the Para 3, the skinny portion being gone really added like a huge significant situation. In this particular instance, it kind of feels like we went from less neutral to more neutral, which is good for some and not good for others. So I always recommend the Para 3 skinny. These, I can't always recommend the skinny, although I do recommend them for me, but for just different reasons, right? Now, as far as this pocket clip goes with these scales, without that hump in the middle, I can actually feel these more so than I could with those other scales. So, you know, I will say that the comfort level of the regular G10 versus the skinny so far isn't as good. I do like them more, and we'll get to that in the end. But first, let's swap out this pocket clip and see if it... Oh, well that was easy. All right, let's see how this feels. Okay, so with the deep carry pocket clip, this is one of those circumstances where so far I actually like it more. I don't feel it as much in the palm of my hand, but what I do feel is this hump right here, because my hands are a little bit more narrow, it's actually kind of contouring on the side to get it a little bit more traction and make it feel like you're kind of locked in on this side. Other than that, if you're not choked up, it does provide a circumstance. I don't recommend the deep carry pocket clip if you like to hold the knife from down here. In fact, I don't recommend the skinny scales at this point if you like holding your knife down here to use. You're too far away from the blade for me. I don't like this grip. I do always use it in the choked up position or the hammer grip like this. I mean, sometimes I'll do this, but for the most part, it's usually this if I'm cutting into anything. I will say this pocket clip does look better on this setup. I think this setup is actually really freaking gorgeous. Look at this. This is just a good looking setup right here, guys. I haven't tried titanium scales, and I'm definitely not going Zerk scales on this. This may be my final product for a while. Really enjoying this. Really like these scales. That's all I got for you guys today. You guys stay sharp, stay safe, and have a great freaking rest of your day. Thanks for watching, guys.